Good morning students, I am Dr.R.SUGANYA, Department of Computer Science and Cybersecurity. Today I am going to talk about hacking Windows. There are four types of hacking like hacking Windows, network hacking, web hacking and password hacking. Hacking Windows, common Windows vulnerabilities, unpatched software, that is risk of outdated software and missing patches, weak passwords, security issues with default or simple passwords, malware and viruses. There are some types of malware, viruses, trojans and ransomware, phishing, social engineering tactics to gain unauthorized access. There are some key concepts also in Windows hacking, that is mainly to exploit a method or tool to take advantage of vulnerability. Payload, code executed after exploiting a vulnerability. Backdoor, a method of bypassing normal authentication. Windows exploitation technique, first is buffer overflow. So exploiting a vulnerability in software to execute arbitrary code. And privilege escalation, which is a technique to gain higher level access, that is from user to administrator. And the third one is remote code execution, which is running the code on a remote system. And tools used in Windows hacking, Metasploit, Nmap, Wireshark, Kane and Abel. Metasploit, which means a framework for developing and executing exploiting the code. Nmap, which is network scanning tool to discover open ports and services. Wireshark, which is a network protocol analyzer for capturing and inspecting the packets. Kane and Abel, which is a password recovery tool and network sniffing. Defensive strategies, regular updates, keeping Windows and all software up to date to patch vulnerabilities. Strong password policies, enforcing complex passwords and using password managers. Antivirus and anti-malware, utilizing and updating security software. Firewalls, configuring and managing firewall rules to block unauthorized access. Ethical hacking practices, authorization, always obtain permission before testing systems. Responsible disclosure, reporting vulnerabilities to software vendors or organizations. Legal boundaries, understanding and adhering to laws and regulations. Case studies of Windows vulnerabilities, famous breaches, examples of past security breaches, example WannaCry ransomware. Lessons learned, how these incidents could have been prevented. Resources for learning, books, recommend readings on ethical hacking and Windows security. Online courses, platforms like Coursera, Udemy and Khan Academy for learning this ethical hacking is being available. So certification is also can be done. We all know that how we can get the certification courses with offensive security certified professional. Okay, so next we'll see about network hacking. So what is network hacking? We all know what is a network, collection of computers or group of interrelated connection of computers. Okay, so unauthorized access and manipulation of computer networks. What is the main purpose is it can be for malicious reasons, example data theft, disruptions or ethical reasons. What is the main scope, which means it includes various types of attack, example sniffing, spoofing, man in the middle. Common network vulnerabilities, unsecured Wi-Fi networks, risk associated with weak encryptions or open networks. Default credentials, exploiting default usernames and passwords on network devices. Unpatched systems, risk from outdated software and firmware. Misconfigured devices, security issues due to improper device configurations. Tools used in network hacking, Wireshark allows for deep inspections of network traffic and can help in identifying suspicious activities. Nmap, useful for network discovery and security auditing by identifying open ports and services. AirCrackNG, assess the security of Wi-Fi networks and can crack web WPA2 encryption keys. Metasploit, provides a platform for developing and testing exploits against network vulnerabilities. Defensive strategies, content, encryption. Encrypting data ensures that even if intercepted, it cannot be easily read or manipulated. Firewalls, Firewalls filters incoming and outgoing traffic based on security rules. Regular updates. Applying updates helps close security gaps and address new threats. Network segmentation. It helps contain breaches and limits the impact of an attack by separating the network segments. Ethical considerations. Permission. Unauthorized access is illegal and unethical. It always works within the bounds of the law. Scope and reporting clearly defines what will be tested and provides a comprehensive report on vulnerabilities and fixes. Web hacking. Introduction to web hacking. So what is web hacking? It involves exploiting vulnerabilities in web application. Okay, so we have to know the difference between the network web excuse to gain unauthorized access or control. So the main objective is to learn more about common vulnerabilities, attacks, methods, and how to secure these web applications. Importance. Protecting web applications from attack is crucial for data security and service reliability. Common vulnerabilities. SQL injections, manipulating database queries through user input. Cross-site scripting, cross-site request forgery, broken authentication. SQL injections, attackers inject malicious SQL queries into input fields to manipulate databases. Impact. Unauthorized access, data leakage, or database corruptions. Example, inputting or 1 in a login field to bypass authentication. Prevention. Use parameterized queries, stored procedures, and ORM frameworks. Cross-site scripting. Content. Attackers inject malicious scripts into web pages to execute in users' browsers. Theft of session cookies, redirections to malicious sites, or defacement. Type. Stored accesses, that is cross-site scripting. Malicious script is stored on the server. Reflect cross-site scripting, which is malicious script which is reflected off the web server. And DOM, database object management, that is malicious script which is modifies the DOM environment. And prevention, which sanitizes and escapes user inputs, user content security policy, that is CSP, content security policy. And next is visual aid. Examples of this excesses, that is cross-site scripting, is payloads and how they appear in web applications. Broken authentication and session management. It flaws in managing user authentication and sessions. Impact. Unauthorized access or session hijacking. Example, weak password, insecure sessions, identifiers, and session fixation. Prevention. Implement strong password policies, use secure session management, and employ multi-factor authentication. Tools for web hacking. Burp Suite, comprehensive tool for web application security testing. Z Attack Proxy, open source tools for finding vulnerabilities. Nmap, network scanner for identifying devices and services. SQL Map, which is automated tool for detecting and exploiting SQL injection. Ethical hacking practices. Authorization, it always get explicit permission before performing test. What is the main scope is to define the boundaries and objectives of testing. Reporting is to provide detailed reports on findings and recommendations. Legal compliance, it follows relevant laws and ethical guidelines. Case studies, so it exploited Equifax breach, Facebook data breach. And what is the main lessons which is learned is importance of patch management, securing the third-party integrations, and regular security assessment. So you can go through the case studies. And next is about password cracking. It is an attack vector that involves hackers attempting to crack or determine a password for unauthorized authentication. So it uses a variety of programmatic techniques, manual steps, and automation using specialized tools to compromise a password. So there are various types of password cracking attacks. You can see here, like shoulder surfing, password guessing, dictionary attack, brute force attack, rainbow table attack, phishing, sniffing, malware. Okay, so we have all these techniques. Okay, so we have already seen all these attacks on preventions. So what are the tools also available for all these attacks is given. So real world examples like Adobe breach, Yahoo data breach. Okay, so attackers use stolen passwords to access accounts affecting all 3 billion user accounts. So best practices for password security is to create strong passwords, and we have to use password managers. Okay, so we enable two-factor authentication. Say for example, we have like bank online banking system itself. So we have like only the OTP to access this particular online banking system. You all know. So instead of having this one alone, we can also have like several layers of securities. Okay, so like who's a favorite actor, or what is your favorite dish, like that you can have some 3 layers of questions in your online banking systems. Okay, so regularly update the passwords too and educate the users. Conclusion. Okay, so understand the password hacking techniques, which helps in strengthening the security measures. Employing strong passwords, using 2FA, and staying informed about security best practices are essential. Call to action. It implements recommended security practices. Regularly review and update security measures to stay ahead of potential threats. So there are some multiple choice questions available for you. So you can go through the. Thank you.